Hey guys, Mac Kentucky Range Time, back with another episode of our 357 Magnum Ballistic Jump Block Test Series. And in this episode, we're looking at the 158 grain Sierra jacketed soft point bullet. And this is a bullet sent in by subscriber Perry Hubling, along with a whole host of other bullets that he sent in for the 444 Marlin testing. And big thanks to Perry for sending this in. So we're going to be putting this bullet through its paces in ballistic gel block at 10 yards with 5 different barrel lengths, and seeing how this thing performs. So here's a look at the loading on this, guys, and here's the bullet sent in by Perry. I'm trying to bag and label all these different bullets that are getting sent in so I don't lose track of who's sending what in. And just as a note, if there's something you sent in that you've not seen me test, or I get something wrong, send me a comment, reach out and let me know. I've got some stuff here. I think I've got everything labeled. I do have some zinc cast bullets coming in from a subscriber in Germany that's been in shipping for several weeks now, and I still haven't seen those. But I figure customs or imports or something may have got a hold of that. So the 158 grain jacketed soft point bullet, this is a .357 diameter bullet. We got this under, like I said in one of the previous videos, one of my favorite powders for 357 mag is H110, Winchester 296, and of course CCI Magnum small pistol primers. At the end of the video, we will have a spreadsheet coming up with all the data included in it, and I'll pause on that and give you guys a little bit of time to digest that before it moves away. I hate when I'm trying to read the last couple of numbers and it changes slides on me and I have to back up. So I usually go ahead and put 10 to 15 seconds on these to give you guys more time on those. So, all right, let's head out to the range and see how this one performs. All right, guys. Coffee coming today, compliments of Caliber Coffee, and the coffee's really good. Picked this mug up off their website here a while back, and it's not so good. It doesn't keep your coffee hot very long, not near as well as my Yeti and some of my other mugs, but the coffee is really good. So go check out Caliber Coffee. So we're back on the range testing our 357 mags, continuing in our series with 357 mag. And the bullet we're looking at this trip is the Sierra 158 grain jacketed soft point. And this bullet was sent in by Perry Hubling, and we do appreciate Perry sending those in. There's several other bullets he sent as well that we'll be testing later. And but today it's the 357 mag. Test format today is going to be 5 different barrel lengths. We got the 20-inch Rossi R92, the 6.5-inch Taurus Tracker, the 5-inch Ruger GP100, the 3-inch Rossi RP63, and the 2-inch Rossi Snubnose. And velocities are going to be getting captured on the Garmin. We've got clear ballistics gel block out here at 10 yards, and I do have a slow motion camera set up on this as well, so hopefully we'll be able to see the temporary wound channels opening up in the gel as this thing goes through, and some other cool stuff that I do occasionally catch while I'm filming. At the end of the video, all the data, the velocities, the expansion, the penetration, retained weight, all that data will be compiled into a spreadsheet that'll make it easy to compare across these different barrel lengths and the different results you get at different velocities. And I've been adding a range chart generated off of the longest barrel velocity, and from that you can take the velocities from these shorter barrels and the expansion results that you get from those shorter barrels, track that down range to see at what yardage that corresponds, and that'll give you a really good idea of the downrange performance of these bullets, especially if you're running them out of these rifles. So you know, if you're running it out of the rifle, you can take the velocities from one of these shorter barrels. Typically there will be a point where it quits expanding, and that'll tell you how far down range with the rifle that you can expect to not get expansion any longer. And if that's a concern, then that helps you determine where to establish your maximum shooting distance on game. So some really helpful data there. So let's get started. So as usual, I'm going to load this round into the magazine tube. and cycle it in. I like doing this with my lever action bullets because sometimes a bullet just doesn't seem to want to feed as well in some of these lever guns. All right, no issues there at all. So we are ready to go, other than the safety glasses. Now we're ready to go. Let's see what this does. Oh, that's some of the cool stuff I catch on my slow motion camera. So, all right, guys, I love it. All right, velocity was 1734.7. Kinetic energy was 1,055.6 foot-pounds. Pretty sure we got the catch. Let's go check it out. Now, this block does have a previous test on the other end of it. We should be able to see the up front expansion characteristics wound track on this. And then by the time this we get into the tracks from the other bullet, we're into straight line penetration. And guys, this gel, it does squeeze down so tight that shooting through an area that's had previous shots in it really doesn't affect the resistance of the gel on this bullet much at all. So let's go see. All right, guys, wound track for this shot starts right here. And it looks like we've got really nice expansion here by an inch. We got a fairly nice permanent wound channel down here from an inch down to about 5 or 6 inches, looks like 7 inches maybe. And then we kind of go in some straight line penetration, and it starts curving a little bit towards this side of the gel block. We have right here, you can already see. So at 15 3/4 inches, we have the copper jacket of this bullet, and at 18.5 inches of overall expansion, of overall penetration down here, we have the lead core of this bullet. So this bullet did separate. The lead core did separate from this jacket here right at 15 inches, I'm guessing, before they separated and actually started traveling. And the much lighter copper cup slowed down considerably faster, and the heavier piece of lead extended out another couple of inches. So, all right, guys, that was the 20-inch rifle. Let's go see what the 6.5-inch Taurus tracker will do. All right, and this is our catch on the can. Can't forget that. And, you know, the gel's kind of sticky, and it hit just right and landed, stuck the landing. So, all right, let's go see if we can do something like that again. I doubt it. Not the first time I've seen it, but 2 times in a row would be a stretch. All right, guys, the Garmin's reset. The rifle's set back out of the way here to give us a little more room to work. And we're going to load up this 6.5-inch Taurus tracker. And this does have the ported barrel, but unlike the newer models of Tauruses, this barrel and shroud is one piece. This rifle barrel extends through the ported area, and the rifling extends all the way down to the end of the muzzle on this. Whereas in a lot of the newer Taurus ported models, the barrel and the rifling actually stop right here, and you go into a larger ported area before the bullet exits. So, all right, let's see what we can do. Velocity on that shot was 1149.7, 463.6 foot-pounds, and let's go see if we got a catch. All right, guys, so entry for this shot was right here, and We got just a very little bit of something going on here, about an inch in, and this thing settles down into more or less straight line penetration. We do have some leg fragments popping off here around 8 and 10.5 inches, another one out here at 14. So I'm guessing the nose did try to compress out here a little bit when this thing entered. It appears this bullet might be even running sideways a little bit as it moves through here. We come down through here, we start curving till we ultimately finish up out here almost out of the gel block at a 28 3/4 inches. And you can see right here, we did get a little bit of motion, a little bit of action on the lead nose of this, but not a whole lot. All right, let's get back and see what the 5-inch Ruger can do with this. All right, guys, next up is the 5-inch Ruger GP 100. I saw some gel block pieces squish and squirt out of there. Velocity was 1160.6, kinetic energy of 472.5 foot-pounds. Let's go check it out. All right, so that was not gel block I saw. That was pieces of the can. Looks like we got a high shot, and I was aiming considerably low, and that was some of the paper and fragments off the can I saw going flying. So, all right, let's go try again. All right, guys, shot 2 coming up with the Ruger GP 100, and I was aiming quite low here. So I'm gonna drop down here and get just a little bit lower with this shot. Looks better. So the problem is when I kind of pivot and I aim low up here on the bench, it drives the bullet at a down angle as it passes through the gel block. So if I get over here beside the bench and shoot a little bit lower, it keeps it moving in the same center line axis as the gel block and doesn't cause it to squirt out as bad. So, all right, let's go check the catch again. All right, so let's try this again here. This is the Ruger 5-inch GP 100. Let's try this again. So this will actually be the 4th shot with this, and I ain't gonna try to sugarcoat it with you guys. This thing is sighted in for a 158 grain bullet at 100 yards. So I'm hitting considerably higher. I have shot the can down there, my Winchester 296 can, 3 times already. And I'm holding the middle of the gel block, so that's how much difference we got in this. So I'm going to hold the bottom third of the gel block this time. That looks better. That one actually looked dead center. So we probably doubled up, but we'll go find out. So 4 shot, average velocity of 1,172.8 foot per second. Standard deviation of 16.9, kinetic energy of 482. Let's go check this one out. Okay, so entry was right here, guys, and from looking at the bullet, there's not a lot going on with it, even though it doubled up in this wound track. This was the 6.5 inch with faster velocity, so wouldn't expect anything different from that. We travel down here at about 13, 14 inches, we start curving up. This bullet goes sideways, flips around backwards, and we've got an overall penetration here of about 26 3/4 inches. And you can see maybe just a little bit, well, no, I'm not going to say that. So we got enough movement on the 6.5 inch that we actually lost some of that lead weight off the nose. And it looks like on the 5 inch, the lead was flattening out, but we never got enough velocity to actually start shedding any of that lead weight off the nose like we did with the 6.5 inch. All right, 3 inches coming up. All right, so next up is the 3 inch Rossi RP63. We did not get a velocity on that one. Let's go see if we got a catch. All right, no catch. I did put another hole in the can. It almost doubled up with one of the previous shots that went in the can. I'm going to start stepping over here beside the bench and taking these shots so I can get a little bit lower and get a different angle on these. So as these bullets get heavier, these shorter barrels are actually, I think they're set up. Well, actually this one's not adjustable. So this bigger bullet is actually causing us to hit a higher point of impact. And I am using my cheaters so I can get a really good look at these small sights on this. All right, we got a velocity of 1081.9. Let's go see if we got a catch. All right, guys, so once again, entry was right here. Like I said, I'm having a hard time placing these in the end of the gel block to get a clear look at them. But we've got straight line penetration down through here, and about 20 inches, this bullet upsets, flips over backwards. We got a cavitation here from about 20 to 25 inches, and this goes back into straight line penetration with an overall penetration of 32 inches. We just did get to the end of the second gel block, and just nothing going on the nose of this bullet, guys. Just not enough velocity to get this thing started. All right, so we're going to do the same thing with the Rossi snub nose 2 inch barrel here. We got a velocity of 944.9. Let me go check and see if we got a catch. All right, we did get a catch on that. So just a recap here, velocity of 944.9, kinetic energy of 313.1 foot-pounds. And let's go take a look. All right, so the wound track on that one starts right here, and it is just below the other two that I had doubled up. And nothing really going on here, guys. You can see it start right at the bottom of this and kind of disappear behind it. And then it starts angling down, and then we extend all the way down here to 46.5 inches of overall penetration. and it's kind of cloudy there. We'll get this dug out here in just a minute and have a better look at it when we get back to the shop. And here's a look at where these that were passing through the can was hitting the steel plate back here, and they were just pretty much exploding on this steel plate. And this is what was left in the gel block, which is disappointing because this was the block I was getting ready to move to the front for the next test. So it goes. All right, guys, and this is why we test. So you would think this bullet would do a little bit better than what this one did, and but we got good expansion out of the rifle bullet. And if you noticed in the gel block review, this bullet actually separated from this core, and they were laying a couple of inches apart. I have a theory that when it changed gel blocks, the second gel block somehow hooked this jacket and helped rip this jacket off of it just from the way they were laying. And so that's my theory on that. We did get decent expansion on the rifle bullet. This is up to 77% expansion, and that's about it, guys. So the 5-inch went 4% above base dimension, and none of the other three actually went above the base diameter of 0.357. So this is the 6-inch, and we did flatten the nose and lose a little bit of lead off the nose of this one. If you notice how the lead has mushroomed up on the nose of these other rounds just a little bit, decreasingly so as we move down to the 2-inch. And so just not enough, and here's the unfired round. So not enough velocity even out of the 6.5-inch tracker to get the expansion started on these. Penetration was 18.5 inches for the rifle round, 28 3/4 for the 6-inch round, 6.5-inch, 26 3/4 for the 5-inch, 32 inches for the 3-inch, and a whopping 46.5 inches of penetration for this little 2-inch snub nose revolver. So again, like I've said many other videos, expansion and penetration are inversely proportional to each other. As these bullets expand and get this big nose profile, they create more resistance going through the gel, and that slows them down a lot faster. And not getting expansion allows these bullets to carry more energy farther down through the target. So, all right, guys, so that was it. Velocity ranges 1735 for the rifle, 1150 for the Taurus. Again, the 5-inch Ruger is putting out better velocities than the Taurus at 1170, 20 foot per second faster. My theory on this is that the inch of porting in the end of this Taurus really doesn't help a lot. If anything else, it allows it to lose some of the pressure behind that bullet sooner, and it doesn't act like a 6.5-inch barrel would. And I've commented on that, especially with the Raging Bull and the 44 mag. That actually, the barrel opens up into an expansion chamber, and then it has expansion ports coming off the top of that. So the pressure drops on that bullet immediately when it crosses the 5 to 5.5-inch mark with that 44 mag. But they call it a 6.5-inch barrel. I don't agree with that. I think it's very deceiving. And anyway, that was a comment on a discussion on a comment from a subscriber this morning. Was talking about the way that factories label their barrel lengths. Muzzle loaders, for example, that's what we were talking about. My CVA Scout, if you look at CVA specs, that's a 24-inch barrel, but the nipple, the breech plug nipple takes up 2 inches of that. So you only have 22 inches of barrel for your gas and pressure to expand in. And anyway, just one of those things. Other notes, 1082 on the 3-inch RP63 and 945 foot per second in the 2-inch snub nose. 313 foot-pounds of energy out of that 2-inch snub nose. So that's it, guys. That's pretty well wraps that one up. The Sierra jacketed soft point, my experience with a lot of Sierra bullets is it is harder to get them to expand. Same thing in the 44 mags that we tested. You saw similar numbers there. They had some jacketed soft points, some hollow points with lead, exposed lead hollow points, and again, they did not seem to expand as well as a lot of the other bullets available. So Sierra, I don't know, maybe 357 Rim Max or something like that. This would be a really good bullet in, where you can add more velocity to that and drive those a little bit harder. So, all right, guys, as always, Matt from Kentucky Range Time, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button. Feel free to share my videos. Go down and copy and paste that link in your social media sites or in your chat groups, or send them to your best friend. I mean, don't leave him out. Let him see some of this content too, or her. And thanks for sharing, guys. I do see the shares. I mentioned it in an earlier video. I get a weekly recap, and it tells me how many times my videos are shared. And I do see when you guys are doing that, and that does help, and I do appreciate it. So don't forget to check out my affiliate links. And as always, guys, Matt from Kentucky Range Time, we'll catch you on the next one.